all the way back, baby.
Yeah, and if we say book your hotel, you book your hotel. But my lord, I have soiled myself.
What do you mean by live? Genuine live? Hello, radio!
And now, another episode of The Way We HNC. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of your now award-winning podcast, The Way We HNC It. I am Bez, your humble host, and it is a pleasure to have you with us once again. There has been a lot going on in the flag football world, and this fine Tuesday has been one for the newsreels. I am joined, of course, by my friend, colleague, and co-host, Mr. Stuart Anderson. Tree, how are you?
I'm getting into it. I'm in this jingle and I'm living in it now. I'm very well, thank you very much, sir. I have had good news. We've seen all the news. There's flag things happening in the world. I'm getting on by, my friend. It is lovely to hear you. And that's a lovely introduction. That's
New intro.
You've been playing by the looks of it.
New intro slaps, I hope. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it didn't scare me like it did the last
Sure.
time. Like that scared me
True. Yeah.
witless the last time.
But it did create some good content though.
I mean,
So-
it certainly did. It certainly did. It caught me off guard. I'm okay tonight, though. I'm prepared. I turned, as I said before we started, I turned everything down
Turn the volume down
in
now.
preparation for any shenanigan or shenanigai.
Shenanigans.
Yeah.
Yes. It's been a hot minute since we were
Yes.
last on. There's been a lot going on. And last weekend before, you made the podcast debut at Winter League this year.
I did. Yeah. When was that? Last weekend. Not this weekend. Oh, it wasn't this
the one
weekend
before,
because
the
I was
night.
doing the attic and doing my loft and moving house things. You know, being an adult, it sucks. It was the week before. Yes, I made my Winter League debut this year. And if you want my honest reaction, I immediately just want to retire from flag football. That's how that weekend made me feel,
Dear.
man. It's just knowing you've not played flag as often you would like, and your mind's like, I can do this. And then your body turns up and you're just like, no, it can't. There was an element of that, and then, you know, it is what it is with Winter League. It's development. You're playing with people you don't normally play with. Nobody knows the playbooks because it's like Colts, Mustangs, Broncos, or whatever. It's challenging and it's difficult. It's what it is. I went through, played flag all day. It was really, no, the one thing I liked a little bit wasn't me playing. I mean, I didn't enjoy that anyway, but it was the under 17 games.
The Waynes. Yeah.
The Waynes, the Weans. That was
Well, no,
fun
actually,
to watch.
To be fair, the proper Waynes are coming.
Oh, the wee Waynes.
The Waynes are the under 12 are coming in January.
Yeah. So it was a long day, but that was especially nice to get the opportunity to watch like Josie's crew actually play their first games against teams that are their age. And they see some of the sort of like some of the other teams that are coming back to play. That was fun. I really like that though. That was exciting, Bez. And then I got told off. Apparently, sorry, Edinburgh Outlaws, for not mentioning you the first time around. I'll mention you this time. I will. I do. I promise. I promise to mention the Outlaws this time around. I will. Yes. But I got a swift like backhand slap for not recognizing ability and scores and things.
I'll be honest, the Winter League coverage last time out was not spectacular, given that neither of us were there.
No, yeah. That. So I did say that. It's like, look, you know, if I'm not there, I'm not playing. The best I can do is gaze upon results. But you know that shows my level of preparation,
Journalistic
and
integrity.
Yeah, journalistic integrity. There was much to be desired, but we do promise. You know, when I am there, I am able to analyze the field, talk about having to eject someone in the Baywatch Top Gun game.
Cool.
I could talk about how the referee and I went with the kids game. I was there. I was involved. I was invested. I can now give them analysis and thought.
Good.
So I'm there, Bez. I'm invested
Good.
with Winter League again. It was
Good.
just, it took me a week off to get back into it.
Work it out. That's fine. That's fine.
It's fine. I'm back.
I'm approaching 2 seasons in a row where I haven't Winter League, so I will need to
That is true. That is true. Like, I miss Rexy. Rexy Midnight Runners at Winter League was always one of my highlights.
It's fair.
And obviously we're moving house. I've said I'm going to look these out and I was going to give them to you. Remember when we played Rexy Raptors?
Yes.
And we had a little emerald trophy.
I've
got the spare caps for the front.
You've got like 100 of those stickers.
Loads of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, who am I going to give them to? And I was going to give one to like Mark, and I was going to give one to you guys, so you could like, I don't know, have it for your future reference.
Really, we should have thought in advance and like had done the referees pick the MVP thing, and then the MVP can have like their little counter.
Yeah. So I've got a few left. And I don't know what I was doing. I was going through a box, obviously tidying out the loft. I'm like, I remember these. And then I don't know. So I've got them lying around and I did look them out. However, they have now, as you can tell by my background scenery, for those that maybe get caught in a clip, my level of boxes here, they're fairly getting utilised. You've got a lot of climbing gear in there, Bess.
So yeah, that's the climbing closet in there. I was going to say I thought the trophy was sitting on the box, but it's just far enough away that I can't reach it.
Cool.
Although the quake does remain.
It does remain behind you. That is a
just
nice
over
little
the shoulder.
touch. Nice
just
little
over
touch.
the shoulder. So yeah, okay. Shall we move on?
I think we're ready. Although we almost had the presenter today.
Oh, we did. So
close.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did almost have Greg today. He was almost going to make his return, and he was going to hide out until Greg with the news. Unfortunately, to quote Aragorn, son of Arathorn, it's not this day.
The call to Gondor for aid was not lit.
Right? No, the beacons
given enough notice.
The beacons were lit, and
the wind blew them out.
Where was Greg when the Westfold fell? But
well, it is really snowy up north right now. Apparently, you guys have got snow.
It's very cold. It was -10 here last night. So
God, like we were like -2. Weren't
good
that
skills.
cold?
Good skills here last night. But yeah, so no Greg, but we will obviously play his jingle, and we will get to the news. Greg with the news.
In today's headlines, we have brand new IFAF rankings, Bess.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yeah, this afternoon, IFAF dropped their 2024 end of year rankings for world rankings for flag football. Thank you to the Source Network that gave me enough of a heads up that we could create a little graphic. As yes, the GB women were ranked in the top 5, which is fabulous. The men, GB men, coming in at 14, up 1 from last year, but in an absolutely packed bunch. So yeah, it's very interesting. You've obviously had a bit of a chance to look through them. Tree, what was your what have you noticed?
I mean, I can't say I'm much of a flag football connoisseur, Bez, but I'd like to think that I'm almost there. I can sniff the glass and know when things are changing and what's in the ingredients, right? So when you say, "Oh, I've got rankings, Tree," I'm like, "Ooh," and I gave you my bold little predictions. Man, yes. I was like,
you weren't far off.
Spot on, almost. I was like, yes. So from a GB perspective, I mean, not really much change there. I mean, quite consistent with how we performed. Maybe surprised that the men didn't go a little tinkly higher compared to like their previous points total of 2,367 pre-event to 5,338. So it is a bit of a jump, but everybody else apparently jumped as well. New Zealand dropped down a little bit. They were up a little bit higher. They've dropped down after a quite good showing. Switzerland, as you'd imagine, they have climbed a considerable distance, beginning
top 10
in 14 up to 7.
Every now and then I think about the run that they went on, and it just makes me so happy.
It's magical. The dudes did wonders. They definitely sprinkled a lovely bit of Swiss magic on us, that's for sure. I mean, that's probably, obviously we know from their run, the Swiss made the biggest impact, so we'd imagine that would be the biggest swing in results the other way. There was a couple others, like, kind of noteworthy, I guess. Like Germany, we maybe expected them to fall a bit further.
Yeah.
The amount of points haul they must have had from their European Championship win is enough to kind of keep them in the good ranking spots.
Yeah.
Naturally, that's going to aid them in future tournaments when rankings come in. They're still going to be quite a high seed. That might also favour GB if they are lower and they're getting Germany. We've already beaten them once. You know, we could beat them again, and even if they're a higher team, we know we can beat them now. So that could aid someone like that. So on the men's front, I couldn't really notice like a lot of big shakers. It's really difficult to kind of look from one to the other, like big shakers.
Some of the really interesting stuff I thought was actually like further down. So obviously the graphics that we put out only did the top 20 just for space really, but like a lot further down, you know, like Ukraine have obviously jumped up. Ireland as well. They got their first win.
I was about to say Ireland.
Right. So they're Ireland are 21st in both, I think.
That's right.
I honestly I genuinely did consider adding 21 both graphics just because it was our friends over in Ireland. But
it's Ireland, yeah. It's 21 for them.
But it's been top 20 the entire time. And the thing about them is it's a 3-year, obviously you get points over your previous 3 years play. They've only played the last 2, right? So they're still like once they get the 3rd year in, it'll I think they'll be top 20, no bother.
Yeah. That was a good. I think the other one was Argentina went up. They obviously played quite. I mean, from the games I saw at World Championships, they seemed to perform particularly well. I think the other one was Brazil. They went up a couple. Again, they performed okay. I don't think there's any massive drops though, Bez. Like a team that just fell from the earth. So I don't think it's really built like that.
There's 2 for me, and they both not deserve. Well, I mean, maybe they do deserve it, but they're non-participants at the Worlds. So Thailand obviously fell from top 5. They fell down to 30th. The Netherlands as well. They were 18. They've fallen to 33rd on the men's side.
That's a deduction, isn't it?
So it's a 3-year cycle. So if you don't play, obviously you're not earning points. Plus, you lose 400 ranking points for not playing. So
that's the one. Remember that one.
So everyone around you has gained points. Your points from 3 years ago, I think, are halved anyway. And you're losing points. So I think people are surprised by how hard it hits people, but at the same time, if you're not competing, it is designed to be powerful.
Imagine you don't turn up for the Olympics, Bess. The impact that has. You're not. You imagine you didn't turn up. I mean, you would have to.
If you qualify, you're going. But
you're going. Like you can see, that's the contingency they're maybe looking for. It's like you need to ensure that you are attending, regularly performing.
Yeah.
Like if you pull out, this is the repercussions. This is the impact on our sport. Blah 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 blah. So from the non-competes, they're hurtful. From the ones that all competed, though, there's a couple changes, like 3-4 spots, but nothing.
Yeah,
nothing
like
major.
Panama dropped.
They would do a little bit.
Kind of 6 to
7 to 9. 6 to 9?
Tied 6 down to 9. Some of the kind of maybe, like Australia, Netherlands. They went 10 down a wee bit.
Netherlands didn't go. Yeah, they
compete. They
got shot.
They've tanked. I think the one thing that I think is very vindicating is like last time, a lot of us, or a lot of the kind of European, shall we say, community were quite critical of some of the Asian rankings after teams meddled in kind of what's perceived as, and the rankings do now show, to be fair, an easier continent to gain ranking points in. However, on the women's side, Japan have absolutely vindicated their high ranking from last year.
If we get to the women's one, that's
like they were third last year. They're third again, but they're now, the gap between them and 4th place has widened quite significantly.
Big time.
It was within a game last time, down to Great Britain in 4th place. It's now a good, 5, 6. What was that? 5, 4, 5. It's almost 2 games. It's almost a 2-game swing now in ranking points to get for Austria. So in 4th. So it is a big deal. If you look at it within the 400 points, like what 400 points can do for you. There's, Germany in 8th, add 400 points to their total. They're now on the outs, just banging on the door of the top 5. Like if anyone up there loses 400 points in a single game, like it's crazy. The men's is absolutely nuts as well. Like if you
the men's one is scary. How close it all is.
Like 14th, 5,338 points, and you just add on, 400 points for a win. They're now like
11.
They're up to they're banging on the door of the top 10. Like we've got Germany in 4th. GB beat them. We've got France in 5th. They beat GB by a point. Switzerland went all the way, won a medal. Italy are narrowly above them by like 40 points. Like I don't even know how you earn 40 points. Like
GB beat Japan though, didn't they?
Israel.
Or was that the women?
Yeah.
No, the men played Japan,
Yeah,
and Japan are just above them in 10th as well.
Yeah, so
GB must be looking ahead, thinking like we've competed with those guys. It really inspires you for this next cycle of like European World Champions. Like we've beat all those teams ahead of us. If we just pick up like another 5, 6, 7 wins, which they're more than capable of, you're knocking on the door all the way up to 4th and 5th.
The European Championships is, now that we have like quantifiable data, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of the top 10 are going to be there. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 of the top 20 in the world are at the European Championships. Now, obviously, big geographical area, loads of teams that play, right? But it's crazy. Like, I don't know when they're going to announce it. I don't know when it's going to be. I've got the grapevine. There's ideas of where it could be and when it's likely going to be, given the World Games, but no announcement from IFAF yet. Hopefully that'll come soon.
Imagine so.
But the European Championships is just going to be nuts, and it's the same. Obviously, like it's the exact same on the women's side. Three in the top 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 in the top 20 from Europe. Like the European Championships over there will be absolutely stacked as well. Like it's such an exciting time, and obviously like November, it's very dark now. It's very cold here in the Northern Hemisphere. The flag has kind of not died off for the year because like there's still stuff happening. There's still tournaments and stuff happening. But in terms of like elite flag, it is very much the off season. And like I just love it when they, I get a little tingle in my spine when they release the rankings because it kind of stokes the fire a bit for next year. And you can mock you can mock as many draws as you want. Like if the European Championships is 4 groups and they draw it the same way as they draw the Worlds, you can work out what the draw would be. If it's 5 groups, 6 groups of 4 or 5 teams, however many teams go, you never really know. Yeah, you can mock out draws, very easily. So
it's cool that we can do that now. We know kind of the format
yeah.
that they'll likely use with the seedings and stuff now, and based upon what we know with the group sizes before, then the seedings, we could probably get a rough idea what it would potentially look like. Well, it gives us some winter nonsense to get up to. Yeah. But those are certainly just as a whole, those rankings, it really, puts things into perspective for the future, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And you start to like see the cycle now.
Yeah.
Euros, we've had coming out of the pandemic, it's all been a bit disjointed, but now, yeah, Limerick Euros, World Championships in Finland, Euros in Europe, obviously somewhere in Europe.
I don't remember where. Is it been announced?
There's rumors, but
it's not
been announced yet. Yeah, but not too far for us to go. And then wherever the Worlds will be after, and that'll be 26.
Knocking on the door. Really knocking on the door at that point.
Start learning some, got to start learning the layout of LA, and at that point, learning all the stadiums and stuff. So
It's true,
yeah,
not going to be
so it's
far.
very cool and very exciting. And yeah, obviously next year, GB Women will get 2 bites at the apple to try and earn some more ranking points with their trip to Chengdu. And then the Euros in the same year, followed, the boys, obviously straight to the Euros. So big year once again, flag football on the international stage in 2025. And I suppose on the subject of international flag and the GB women in particular, over the last week or so, head coach Dean has been announced as having resigned and leaving the women's flag program. Haven't spoken to Dean. I figured he would be getting absolutely bombarded with messages, and the last thing he probably needed was one from us. But on our note, Dean has always been very helpful. He's always, given us any insight to the team. He's always tried to kind of, tell the story of his squad and support the athletes in any way we can. So we're obviously incredibly grateful for him. His record speaks for himself. He has a European Championships gold medal, as well as all the other accolades that went with him. So we obviously, hopefully, I'll reach out to him and catch up with him soon. But from both of us, wishing him well in the future, and I guess thank you for your service to the national program. Coach Wingslow, over and out.
Still shocked at that one. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
I didn't expect that. There was kind of a lot of change, but
good luck. I mean, he's got a lot of expertise. I'm sure he'll still be involved in flag in one way or another. We'll see him kicking about the community.
I hope so.
No doubt.
And so yes, on to the next one.
Bez, this is a good one. The NFFL is now under the BAFA name again, Bez.
Back under BAFA. Back under the Brawley.
I mean, it almost comes in full circles, Bez. I have mentioned this one before. I'd never understood why it left in the first place. You look at every other governing body. I am not surprised at this one, but yes, it is indeed back under BAFA. And the watchful eye, especially the NFFL, of Mr. Alan Young and his compadres. I think it's Neil, Henderson, and Paul. I think it's the 3 of them. So, yeah, I mean, it's certainly, from our perspective, it's in safe hands. A bunch of guys with a huge amount of experience in the flag football community for many, many years from different perspectives. I mean, at this stage of the process, it seems like it's a no-brainer going back out to tender and going through that whole process at this short turn. And then with the Olympics setup coming around and the sort of funding, again, there's so many aspects. I'd imagine that Chad's probably looked at it from a CEO perspective and went, let's just rein this in a little bit, refocus, and then see what the future holds for it. So, excited. I mean, I'm not terribly excited by these things, but I mean, this has got me excited because at least we know the security of our sport is going to be okay for the foreseeable future. And with Chad, apparently, seems to be really keen and interested in the development of our sport, which is what we want. Someone that's there to guide us to the future.
I thought
that's my politically correct answer, right? Did I do that right?
You nailed it. Yeah, well done. Well done. Ticking the boxes. I thought his there's a little quote from Chad in the article that they put out about kind of, and he said something about allows BAFA to stay closely connected to the flag community at this juncture, or something. It was something like that. And I thought that was really interesting because obviously he was there in Finland.
Would you like the quote?
Yeah, go for it. Hit me.
You are very close. I appreciate your accuracy, Bez, as a journal. Your integrity is very
Thank you. Journalistic integrity. Very high journalistic. That's, you know what, Tree? That's why people come to this show.
That's why they come here. Exactly. Well, the quote from Chad. Bringing the delivery of our 2025 Flag Football National Leagues fully in-house allows us to stay closely connected to the heart of our flag football community at this pivotal time as we
pivotal time.
continue discussions on future funding and partnerships. Like I thought it was, I remember that bit. Managing the leagues directly lets us remain agile and responsive to community needs while aligning with our long-term goals for the sport.
Pivotal moment, not juncture.
You were
close.
honestly, you were
close.
close. Yeah,
I was like trying to speak corporate, but I was close. I mean, the last line is flawless. Like,
your best GPT let you down for a word
remaining agile and responsive to community needs while aligning with our long-term goals for the sport is like full corporate bollocks.
Yeah.
I'm so here for it. Like, I'm here to call it out, but I respect it. You know, game respects game. But like, if the first bit's true, like obviously he flew out to Finland within like a couple of weeks of becoming CEO.
There, yeah.
And obviously he was at finals on Premier Day, on Premier League Saturday, and youth finals day. Every time I looked around, he was having a conversation with someone, which is cool. So I hope that it's taken seriously. You know, Paul, Alan, and Neil, GB, all the way through, youth, adult management, you know, like everyone knows who they are. Obviously, all three of them have been very kind with their time to us as well. I feel good about it. It's the core of the old committee. Obviously, a lot of the guys that were on the committee kind of previously are no longer there and stepped away. And obviously, the people of the sport, I don't think those people get the props they deserve. Even the ones that we might have kind of disagreed with. You know, everyone is obviously entitled to their opinion, but everyone is also entitled to tell you that your opinion's wrong. That's discourse. That's how we grow. These three very strong core. I did actually speak to Alan not long after the announcement, and he did say that yes, it's just the three of them, but obviously it's a very big job. If anyone would like to join them and help out, they have space for that. They require more capacity. So if you are genuinely interested in helping to join the volunteer back group of the three of them, to help administer the National Flag Football League, you are invited to reach out to them. And if you don't have the contact details for any of them, please DM the show and I will put you in touch directly with Alan and you can discuss it directly with him. That is my public service announcement that he asked me to do. So hopefully when he's morning, Alan, if you're listening to this on your drive to work or drive home, there you go. Job done.
You get a recruitment fee, right? What was that? I discussed at least a box of Tunnocks tea cakes.
So if I'm lucky, I'll get a caramel wafer out of it.
Caramel wafer. Let's go. Okay.
So yeah, like National Flag Football League, Youth Flag League, is up and coming, and yeah, as we look to kind of hopefully the league becomes stronger, comes back next year. Will we see some changes to the structure? I doubt it for 2025, but 2026 and beyond, I am so ready.
Yeah, I can't imagine there would be. I mean, there's maybe some things.
I think it's too short. I think it's too short a lead in for next year, but I think the year after, if I know that group of three gentlemen the way I think I do, they will have their plans.
Yeah, I know they definitely will. Like, I mean, if you look at the National League itself, I think that will remain relatively untouched. Maybe small alignments and divisions potentially. I don't see the overall format changing dramatically. I mean, we could both be completely wrong, but I could come with something wild, like a Super Sunday League with
Super League.
Yeah, you go. You know it.
Super League.
I think the other things that'd be really interesting, really in your perspective, is just those other things like regional development things we had, and then GB camps and the influence on league and GB leading into Olympic. There might be the non-league element of it. I wonder how they're going to structure and strategize that. I think that's going to be a big part of what Chad's obviously imagining is like, what's that program going to look like round the league? I think there may be something there potentially to look at. Youth development opportunities. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of things happening in that space too. To the 16, 17-year-old, that little window before they get to Olympics, even younger now, if you think about 2028, it's 4 years away. You're looking at players that are maybe 13, 14 years old. There's where are they looking and strategizing that far? So it's going to be really interesting. I'm really fascinated from an outsider looking in, going, I wonder what they've got planned. And then from an outsider, I'm like, I don't know whether I could volunteer the time. I'm tempted, Bez.
If you would like the chance to work alongside our very own Mr. Stuart Anderson,
I am tempted to message Alan. I'll see. I'll see what happens over the winter. And if I've not retired from flag football, or if I have, make a decision.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I look forward to it, though. It is exciting, though. And fair play to Kyle for the years that he did it. Like, hats off to the man and a firm handshake. We really appreciate the work and hard work you put into it in your time. It's a volunteer role. I think it was. And it's a difficult one to take on board from anybody and try and lead. But I think he did as good a job as what he could with the funding and people around him and things. So appreciate you, Kyle. Thanks very much, man. And just excited for where our sport's going to go next.
Where we go to next. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that is BAFA news, which means one more bit of news to come.
Scottish flag football corner, Bez.
Yeah.
The world of SCOFF in Scotland. There's been a lot happening, Bez. I mean, this is like one headline split in about 4 different directions.
Yeah, SCOFF Corner.
It's been busy.
There's a lot going on up here. We have had... So the last time we spoke, we were just in the build-up to the inaugural Scottish Flag Football Awards, where obviously the highlight of the evening was Neil Arnold and the Kirkcaldy Bulls being inducted into the Hall of Fame. We will hopefully bring you a show with them just this side of Christmas, I'm hoping. Need to do the arrangements for that, but it is on my plan to get that done this side of Christmas. And then yes, people from all across the kind of flag scene in Scotland were honoured with awards on the night. And yeah, big shout out to Robin McCluskey who handmade all of the awards that were handed out, as well as winning one herself for the memory capture.
It's engraving her own name into it. So nothing more pleasurable than that.
So yeah, the full list of award winners is available on our blog and available on kind of on Instagram and on Facebook on all the graphics. But we will fly through them just now. So in the development cycle, the individual youth development award was to Thomas McDonald. Individual adult development award, Dave Charleston. Team youth development, the Tayside Longhorns. Team adult development award, Grangemouth Flag Football. Individual youth excellence award in under 15s was to Oliver Morgan. Individual youth excellence award under 17s to Liam McKendrick. Individual excellence award Division 1 to Brendan Campbell. Individual excellence award to the Premiership to David McAnally. The Adult Team Excellence Award and the Youth Team Excellence Award both went to the Glasgow Hornets. The Memory Capture Award went to Rob McCluskey, as we mentioned before. The Community Supporters Award went to Ashley Luden. And even though it was in my name, you and I, won the SCOFF Community Award for work on the podcast, which was very surprising. And we would just like to say thank you very much to both the panel at SCOFF, who felt like it was worthy, but obviously, and everyone who nominated us. But the only thing we can really say is that it is a community award, and you guys listen to our show, you interact with the social media, you ask us questions, you make things kind of explode when we don't really expect it to. Without you guys, there is no show. Tree and I have often said that we could just have our conversations about flag football without recording them. That would be fine. But as long as the numbers, to quote Chandler Bing's boss, as long as the numbers keep going up, it's all going well. So we will keep listening. But yeah, I mean, without you guys, obviously, it would just be two guys chatting away over the internet. So thank you to everyone who makes the community great. Thank you to everyone who heckles. Thanks to everyone who calls Tree out at Winter League.
I've had so many.
And
They
says-
call me out. It's like, oh,
calls
you're
out
the
Winter League.
podcast guy, and I'm like, that's me.
Yeah. Thank you to and you know, every bit of interaction is appreciated, and we read every comment and every message. So
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. We are the community as well, Bez. Like we're not just a podcast. We are literally part of that flag football community as well. And that's the relationships we have with everyone and the people that reach out to us. We're all just humans playing the same sport that we all love and enjoy. Eh? And we just have an opportunity to just waffle about it, like what we would do if we weren't recording, as you said, or if we're at the side of a pitch, we get to waffle about rankings and have a giggle about it and talk about it. And it's just, that's what it's all about. So yeah, it's, the name might look a bit weird on the thing, Community Award, some Matthew person, I don't know who that is, but you know, we appreciate you, Bez, as well, and Tom and Greg, and the legacy that everyone had that kind of are still part of this little flag podcast community of people here too.
absolutely, yeah, and
Appreciate
they
you
are
guys.
still in the still in the little group chat. Greg and Tom.
Yeah,
They're
they're still there.
They're still there. They still talk nonsense. They just they've kind of hidden themselves.
We will get Greg on, though.
We will get him. We will get
him on.
We will get him. Now that he's you know, he's gone through the house move. He's got no excuse anymore.
No, none now. He's in routine with the kids now.
Yeah.
Like
To
routine
be
with
fair,
the
the only
house.
thing is he does keep getting sent abroad by his work. So
Sucks.
into countries that he generally can't zoom back out of. So we'll leave it at that. But
We'll let
yes,
him off. We'll let him off. It's fine.
Winter League, 1 week after the conclusion of the SCOFF Awards, we did hit Winter League. And in the adults, it was the end of the regular season, which is strange this side of the Christmas, but obviously with no December date, it makes sense, and the double round robin is complete, and it's a top 5, top 6 split, and it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is definitely interesting. I mean, Top Gun, the talent they've got, and I'll be honest, seeing Neil Arnold and Grant McClellan play for Top Gun is like watching old school Hornets and Bulls, because they're just doing the exact same thing that they did probably 10 years ago. Grant runs a post and he scores over the top, and Neil Arnold sees everything with his eyes shut. It's funny to watch those guys play. They played stellar. They had a really good game with Baywatch. Baywatch are not a fun thrills, like have fun and mess around. They are serious. Some really top talent in that Baywatch team. But honestly, if anyone's going to compete with Top Gun, it's definitely them. But you're coming up against a team that's pretty much filled with national talent and national champion talent in the Top Guns. It's not just Top Guns of old, where you had a lot of the guys that were just Jules's mates turn up. I remember the first year we had Top Gun, and it was just basically him and a bunch of his mates, Kaz, and a few other guys. But now it's a very well-oiled machine, this Top
I've got
Gun
Instagram
team.
now as well, so you know they're taking it seriously.
It's full seriousness, Mr. Julian. So yeah, they were stellar, man. To watch them play, they were great. I think looking down the other results as well, I think as a Colts perspective, we were I don't really deserve to be in that top 6 after that last game day, but we're not far away. I think if you look at the points from the Gangemouth Colts, the 7, Bombers 6, Silvercats 5, the under-17s, and the Border City Centurions, that's like a win or two either way on that last game day. That's a swing for you getting in and out.
Well, I think Aberdeen beat Border City on the last day, maybe even the last game of the day.
Yeah,
20-18 to do it. Like, it was. I don't know if that was. I think that was their last game of the day.
I'm not sure.
I'd need to check which order the schedule was in, but
they
definitely played Border City
Because we did as well. We played Border as well, but played Dreadful. But Border City, they're okay. I think we played them in our second game. I think we played against them.
It was
good bunch of guys.
the Silvercats last last game of the regular season. They beat Border City by 2 points. Border City got the and that's what got them in alongside Border City into the top 5.
Perfect. And then it was like a 2-point win, 20-18.
Yeah,
that's banging. Like, just to be able to scrap in from that as well. But I mean, that's what makes it always really exciting. And I think that Winter League itself it's been fun to kind of look at it this year. It has been, from some elements, a continuation of like development football. I think for me, the big standout and definitely worth talking about is TS17. Obviously, Team Scotland R17. I've not obviously had an opportunity to play
in the top 5 as well.
Exactly. I've not had a chance to play against them because the Colts must have played them like the first week when I wasn't playing. But I had an opportunity to watch them play a couple times. Serious bunch of guys, young athletes, being able to have an opportunity to play against some really competent teams and opposition. That's only going to aid their development when they go up against the same age group. If you're playing up against like men and women that are not superior in regards to like anything, but you're playing effectively in a national league against your peers and performing at that level. That's only going to benefit you when you play people your own age. It's the same with like I'll reference Jules' daughter Eva. She's been playing up the age groups in basketball, which means when you do come back and play your own age group, it's almost like it feels easier.
Tournament,
So over this, we're seeing that those guys play against the senior men, senior women, against some really competent sides. That for me. That's the one thing out of everything that stands out for me here is them getting stuck in amongst everyone and performing particularly well. I think that's probably the main one I would say. And then shout out to the Cobras, the girls. They've been mega. I enjoyed watching them play as well. Just to have them still going at it every single game day and like a whole crew of them, which is awesome. What else was there in there? I think that was pretty much it.
It does. You can like, I don't know. I mean, I can make educated guesses, but having not been there, I don't know the individuals that are on the top 2 teams, but I can tell where those individuals are playing just from the points differences.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like you say, and it is something that like I don't think I would struggle with it now, but like the first year that we put, like, because you mentioned Rexy's earlier on, the first year we put Rexy's in, I did kind of struggle with it because like my initial experience of Winter League was always development.
Should be. Yeah.
But then I was like, well, actually, it was us and Top Gun kind of playing against each other, and it was like, well, actually, the games I always look back on it, like Flying in the Year and stuff that are my favorites, and I've mentioned them before on the show. It's like trying really hard against the Silver Lions, a team way better than we were, right, on the day, and like on paper, way better. Playing like my first Flag and Year, at Flag and Year, I've had the opportunity to play like the Silver Lions, obviously amazing. The Solrod Gold Diggers came one year, that was amazing.
Remember them, yeah.
I've played obviously the Dutch Lions because almost everyone's played the Dutch Lions.
I think we all have,
But like I played, I've had a chance to play the Button Hookers both in the league and at tournaments. I had a chance, like the games I look back on as being amazing are the ones where you are playing teams that are stacked.
Yeah.
And I've also been beat by 60 by teams that are stacked. Like if you hit a team that is stacked and your team are just like, screw this, we're going for it, and it ends up being close or nervy, like, that's what you want. Like that is what I want. Like it's obviously much nicer to be on a team that's winning lots. But if you're not on a team that's winning lots and you have the chance to place a properly good team, not that Rexy's that any real year were a properly good team, but like I still looked at Top Gun as being the properly good team because it was like, and it's the guys that I know. Like we know them all. It was like you say, Jules and Grant and Kaz and Gibson and Brandon and all that kind of stuff. They were pulling in folk from everywhere.
And it's the same this year. I think Top Gun, it'll be a Top Gun Baywatch final. I can almost guarantee it. It was a 1-score game when Top Gun played Baywatch that weekend, just there. I've never had to eject someone from a flag football game before. That was fun. Not. But that Top Gun team, Nikki QB, Jules, Grant, Brendan, it's a heap of talent. Even saying Yubo was playing for them at the weekend, and from a Baywatch perspective, Kerens was playing for them. It's ace, man. It's just like to see there's the super competitive element of it. They're still getting to be competitive, which is great. And on the flip side, there's other lot of teams that are going in for their own individual reasons, whether that's development or just participation and just coming along just to play some flag football
in the winter, doesn't it?
That's what I was like. I went along. I know it was a 7-hour day to just play 4 games. I'm getting out of the house to play flag football.
Yeah.
Do I anticipate winning? No. Do I anticipate going to have a lot of fun? Probably not. But I'm going to hang out with my mates for 7 hours, have a yap, have a good catch up with people. And I got given a really lovely gift for Lily, my daughter, from Jimmy Thompson and the family.
Oh.
So I appreciate you, Jimmy, very much. It was very lovely that they got us. Nice little pillow, and had a little book in it, and it had Lily's name on it, Bez. It's
lovely.
Beautiful. So it's things like that, the community element of it is the reason why I went to Winter League.
Do it.
That's why I go, which is probably different to most people, but I'm going more for community, friends, like-mindedness. See the gang, see what's happening. You refer to as the podcast man, and that's pretty much my highlight of my day. But that's what Winter League's there for, and it's
exactly
what we built it up to be. And it's going to be an exciting end to the year, because now split into top 5 and bottom 6.
And we also get, as we mentioned earlier, the proper wins on the 4th of January. They're going to arrive. The afternoon is going to be much shorter than the last time because it's not junior, senior because of the pitch sizes. So, 10-1. We'll see the top 5 kick off in the adult mixed with the bottom 6 just after.
Is it a round robin again?
Yeah, I think yes, it is.
Double round robin. So you play on the 4th of January.
The 4th of January and the 1st
of February is the return games.
Is the return legs. Yeah. And then it's the 1st of March is the under-16 championship. So there's no adult games on that day.
No adult games on that day.
And not that we are preempting anything, but the fact that the last game of the adult mixed season is actually Top Gun versus Baywatch is probably by design.
Who made that decision, I wonder?
So someone with a flair for the dramatic.
It's an interesting format this year, and I mean, it means that at least for 2 of your 4 game days, you're arguably playing with teams that are in your bubble.
Yeah.
Which is great, and it just means that you're playing the same teams again, but with an opportunity to, I don't really want to use the word to be more competitive, but you're playing with like-minded, ability-wise, very, very similar. And looking at that, I think that's right. I think if you look at Aberdeen Silvercats, the under-17s in Border City, arguably the Lancashire Bombers, again, I know they're the top seed in the bottom 6, but you can kind of see them being amongst the same group. And then the way in which I've seen the other teams like Colts, Gunslingers, GFC, Newcastle Cobras, from what I've seen, it kind of has leveled out quite nicely for the rest of the year for people to start rotating into things. So yeah, I think that'll work it quite well for the guys. So good job, Alan. And it seems to have been running pretty smooth so far. But if you are refereeing, make sure you're on the goddamn pitches ready to referee the next game day. I was getting there's no Grangemouth. I'm like, we're literally standing here.
Is it slow?
The referees getting to pitches was particularly slow, and that's what ended up just slowing things down a little bit throughout the day. There's a few instances where it just kind of built up, and it's probably the only thing I would say. Community feedback, please, guys, just make sure if you are refereeing, like you're going to be on after you play.
You have to run, and it's
like just keep your flags on, just go outside the pitch, grab flags, distribute your players, stand ready to go. It's super easy, like. I don't understand why there's such a delay between games. It should just be drilled in. So if there's any unsureness about how to do it, like ask. Hey, we're refereeing at this last game day. How do you suggest doing it? Like this shouldn't be. And I know people don't like refereeing. It's like I don't want to ref. I can't be bothered. Like, don't get me wrong. There are teams that I just don't like refereeing, and I'll blatantly say it in a podcast. There's some teams I will just refuse to referee, and I understand that, and people will say that. But in development league, this is where you learn to do line of scrimmage. You learn to do like
it's much
down
better.
counts.
It's and I'm going to use my weekly swear here. Everyone would rather you fuck up an assignment on refereeing at Winter League than in the National League over the summer.
And I know they might get hard. And the thing is, I'll oppose that in some sense that I'll say it for the community. Please don't get angry at the referees for discussing something.
Yeah.
Like, we're here to learn and develop, and I know it might impact the game, and you might not get along in the play as you needed. But I mean, from a learning and development standpoint, there are people there who are younger, less experienced, that are being put into positions where they either don't know the rules, they don't know the circumstances, the implications, and even like down counts, making sure they get them right. Because I was at the back of the field. Eventually, I started doing the down counts with them, Bez.
Yeah,
just to make sure the young lads were kept in the right. Yeah, take it easy on them as well. I mean, this is the perfect time to, make mistakes and learn, and you have people around you to support you and please help each other out. And that's what should. Yeah, nice swear word, Bez. I appreciate the use of that one. That was
nice. And that will bring us to the end of the news. And that means it is time for our main event of the week. I know we are almost an hour in, but it is our main event. It was the WFFL Week 2 over the weekend just gone. And we were out over 4 different locations over the 2 days. The Amazons hosted in Loughborough. The Spears hosted, I believe they were at home in Norwich. We had the HNC in Sheffield and East Kilbride. It was good.
Some big results. Yeah.
Big results.
I was keeping an eye on this because I had interest in obviously the Scottish ones probably, and then a few of the Southern games. I guess any west, north or south, where we're going, Bess?
It's up to you. Take me somewhere. Drive.
Take you somewhere. Let's go Saturday first. That was south. The Southerners.
Yes.
And the return of the Coventry Cougars.
Yes, the Coventry Cougars, the 9-time national champions, the defending champions, finally entered the race to Ravenscraig after their kind of away trip to Champions Bowl. They are back. There was still a couple of key players missing, but they did not miss a beat. 4-0 on the day, moving up to the top of the table in the MSC, exactly where we would expect them to be. But yes, some interesting.
Yeah, still a few zeros, Bez.
Still a few zeros.
I was maybe expecting by week 2, maybe other teams picking up and getting a few more points on the board. I was still surprised at that. I picked that up when I saw the scores come in. But discounting that, some of the scores that did creep in, though, there's some really interesting ones, particularly the second one, which caught my eye, which was the Amazon and the Huntsman, Bez.
So, I have already started.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. So I've already started gathering in some. So this week's blog on Friday was all of the teams should now have an email or an Instagram DM from us, just asking for some information. And that game specifically, sounds like both teams. It was 0-0 with 4 minutes to go.
That's incredible.
And then Amazon score, hit the extra point, 7-0. Huntsman
almost
march.
The last drive of the game, almost.
Huntsman march right back down again, score, miss the extra point, and then end up 7-6, falling to 7-6. So the Amazons get the win there.
Yeah, that one stood out. I noticed that 2 good teams are like, ooh, London Amazons only getting 7. Huntsman only keeping them to 1 score. I was like, oh.
Yeah, so there's definitely stuff going on there. The Huntsman, they're working with, they've got some stuff going on with the youth around Loughborough Uni. So there's a lot of kind of young talent on that team, which I think as the season goes on, hopefully they will start to gel. Birmingham Lions, a team that in the National Mixed League, was once winning national championships.
Powerhouse.
Not
Yeah.
long ago. Like not long. I mean, you look at it now and it's like 10 years, but like not the misty, murky, distant past. But yeah, Birmingham Lions is not a name I've seen on a fixture sheet for a while, so it was a genuine pleasure to type out the Birmingham Lions, on the graphic. The Lions are back. Tough start for them. Meeting the kind of having to run that Coventry gauntlet.
It's difficult for any team
on day one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, difficult for any team. They then also met the Flame and the Huntsman, which. Yeah, like an absolutely savage pair of kind of quad of games. That's 4 of the top 5.
Yeah, that's difficult
in the division. That's a tough kind of welcome back for them. But none of the. I'm not like. They're a rookie team, right? It's been long enough that they are a rookie team in this era of the WFFL. I'm not like super concerned about their scoring. Like that game against the Huntsmen, 20 Lions, Huntsman's 27. Like
I was going to pick up on that one. That gives you confidence.
If that's the level, that means that they're a touchdown away from being. The Huntsmen only just missed out on the playoffs last year. They're just outside playoffs at the moment in the standings, basically because of that loss to the Amazons.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, the way I look at it as Bellbeds, just one thing on the numbers. Only 3 games the opposing team scored more than 4 touchdowns. Mm-hmm. Only 3. Yeah, all the other games are 4 touchdowns or less. So that's 2 touchdowns per half. And that's it. And you're in a game.
So like, and I don't mean this like because I know the Huntsmen will have much loftier goals than this, but if they're within a touchdown of the Huntsmen, that's potentially saying that they're like the Lions have the potential there to be a solid mid-table team, which in your first year back, I think a lot of teams would take.
Oh, anyone would take that. That's
if you sneak into
amazing.
the top 4, banging. But at the moment, that looks like you're going to get a date with the Pirates Black, which is scary.
You don't want to do that.
So, but I think the Lions are. I think they're 0-4, but I will be very surprised if very soon we don't start talking about their first win in.
I don't think it'll be long
in the WFFL. I don't think it'll be long.
Yeah, my only little thing on the Cougars as well, Bez. The only thing that worries me is like their defense worries me because it looks very good. They didn't concede any points against the Amazons, no points against the Huntsmen, no points against the Flame, and only 1 against the Lions, 1 score.
Yeah.
But they are only, and this does worry me as well, they're only scoring 26-20, 13 and 35. They're not scoring a lot either. And you did allude to they didn't have their whole complement of players, which obviously impacts that. But you look at some of these northern scores and you're thinking, you're putting up some big numbers. You might have to try and get your offensive going at some point if you want to keep up.
I've been around this too long to doubt that if they need to score points, they'll score points.
I think they can. I'm just concerns. Concerns.
I think day one. 4 games in a row. Like I have no concerns.
You okay, Beth? You're going strong Cougar vibes. I like this.
Strong, and as I have consistently said on this show over the years, until proven otherwise,
correct.
Right? Until proven otherwise, the Glasgow Hornets are the best team. Until proven otherwise, the Coventry Cougars are the best team in the league. So, So yeah, I have no doubts about the Cougars in their. I love how
conference. You got no doubt. I've only got a 13-0 win against the Flame. A Flame team that have not really performed that well this season.
Well, you say that, but
I'm not there. I can't obviously comment on abilities and talent and plays and what's happening, weather-related effects to the wind or rain. I wasn't there, but
you say that. But I mean, it was a Flame team that in their games last week scored.
Last week they were fine.
Scored 46,
the first week they were fine.
66.
But that
45 and 57. So
what happened to the Flame this time round? Because I did pick up on that. Like, obviously something's changed because they've went from big numbers to 0-0 39-6. It really flipped its head around the other way. Who were they playing in week 1? Unfortunately, I can't remember that far back.
They did play the. It was the green, the gold, and the samurai.
Right, okay.
Sorry, the green, not the samurai. The green, the gold, and the spears. Sorry,
Spears.
Wrong
okay,
S.
okay.
Wrong S team.
I know what you.
Teams
Okay.
that traditionally allow a lot of points,
Okay.
or have in recent years allowed a lot of points. I think as well they were down some players. It is back-to-back trips to Loughborough for them,
and they're not playing against easy teams here.
And
they're playing against the Amazons. They're playing against the Panthers, the Cougars. Like these are your top 3 teams in the country.
I actually think that potentially, kind of for them, that the Flame and the Amazons game was the one that surprised me at 18-6. I would have, had we been doing the handicaps, I think I would have handicapped the Flame as the favourites there. Now, obviously, the favourites don't win every time, but
like a -6 or something, -7.
That was the one that I thought was surprising. Panthers are just cruising.
They're doing well.
7-0. Yeah, the Coventry derby.
That should be the next week, shouldn't it?
Is going to be an absolute cracker. Like,
they play each other once or twice before the playoffs, but it's twice, isn't it? Before the playoffs.
So it's twice. Yeah,
format? Okay.
It's back and forward. So
it really going to set up the rest of the season. I think there's going to be a real clear battle for the top 4 down south. I think the Amazons. I think the Cougars, the Panthers, are probably top 3. I think are not quite solidified, but pretty competitive. And I think there's a few teams that are just chomping at the bit to be right there with them. And it's kind of exciting down south. The next game day is going to be a real telltale sign of what's to come. I think once they play each other once, you'll really get a feel for like the importance of the return leg. Who won the first one? So points difference.
The Cougars and the Panthers play each other week 4 and week 5.
Oh, right, okay.
Cougars versus Panthers is the last game on the last field on the last game day.
Who makes up these fixtures, Bez? They definitely like their drama.
Someone with a flair for the dramatic.
It's almost like Alan Young again is in another league that he's got his hand in, and another one to put the game at the end.
He knows he's given the people what they want. But
get the people going.
So yeah, we do have to wait a little while before we get that game day. Elsewhere in the MSC, the Spears not only doubled their win total from last year, it came way earlier in the season. Last year they didn't get a chance to play the Nottingham team until much later, until the last game day, I don't think. So this year, 2 wins for them at home, defending their home turf. A 19-13 win over the Gold for them, a 46-12 win over the Green, and a 39-0 win Gold over Green in the Battle of Nottingham.
Yeah, bragging rights in Nottingham.
So yeah, that's good to see. Like, it's good to see the teams, especially those guys, get wins early on. I know that the Spears, they're kind of a much smaller squad this year than the last time out. Kind of lost a couple of people to injuries already. But still a lot of commitment, a lot of fun. They're all just there, and their goals pretty much from when I spoke to them earlier this season were all about trying to be as competitive as possible, getting better, and good vibes. So as long as they're still doing that,
all that matters.
Katie from the Spears let me know that they had a good time hosting. So we'll see where they go. How the Lions interact with those 3 teams, I think, will be very, very interesting, because it's hard with the Lions because they played the Huntsmen really well. Like, they got a touchdown on the Cougars. They're kind of in games, but where are they? Are they gonna, are they like 6th, or are they in amongst that lower group? And they'll get they're not going to get a chance to kind of play them. I think they'll play the Nottingham teams in week 3, and then they'll get the Spears later on. So I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, I think it's
kind of
not
where they're at.
I could say they're going to start to take shape pretty soon. Like your standings are like you got Flame, Amazon, Huntsman, all basically within a game.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be that. Those are the ones that are going to be close. I thought the Amazons were 6-2. Actually, they're 5-3. Yeah, they're going to be so close. So because how many teams qualify from each?
4, top 4 from each.
It's top 4,
and then it's 1 plays 4, 4 plays 1.
Someone's going to be disappointed.
Oh yeah, there's yeah, for sure. Coming up, and we'll do the full preview when we get there. But the next kind of round of games in week 3, the big one for me is Flame and Panthers.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah,
another good one.
That's a pretty big one. The Amazons, they're gonna play the 2 Nottingham teams and the Lions, so they have a good chance to get themselves back on track. So we'll we'll kind of see how that one goes. But yeah, it's all go. There, if we move north to the other Saturday fixtures in the HNC, the 2 Manchester Titans teams, the Samurai and the Giants, all got together in Sheffield, and the Samurai had the best day, undefeated, 3 wins. Titans,
big one as well.
Titans
against the Giants.
Down quarterback Sarah Hack. She was not there.
Oh no.
Which obviously had a big impact on
it's
their
really
offense.
hurtful.
Yeah, she wasn't there this weekend. But Samurai 13-7 over the Giants. Like we said this last year. And I actually think we said this with their mixed teams as well, that those 2 teams are so both geographically close together.
Yeah, I feel like I've spoken about them like the other week there in FFL, like in the playoffs and like Div 1, and I feel like we speak about this team quite a lot, Bez, and it's even talking about the women. They're right next to each other.
These 2 clubs are very evenly matched. That sounds like an absolute thriller. And then the Samurai 28-0 over the Titans and 33-0 over the Bees.
Like I know it's the Titans. I know they're slightly different to years gone by, but Titans were always like your top 3, top 4, pushing for finals. Is it Tika? Her name is.
Yeah.
Phenomenal talent. And the whole crew of them at the Giants.
International. Yeah,
the Samurai. That's a big scuff for them. That's 28-0.
That's
like, huge.
You can only play the team in front of you. Like in front of you. It's Leeds aren't probably going to apologise for their opposition not having their quarterback.
Sunshine's still going to glare at you like my ball game.
Yeah,
this is mine.
Like it's still it's I think the rematch. I want to see. We all want to see. Starters versus starters. Like and we want to see everyone healthy and fit and available and all those good things. But yeah, like there's a lot of players on that team. Katie Sykes, for example. There's a lot of players on that team that were used to calling out their names at finals. I expect them to be back. I expect the Titans to be absolutely challenging for a playoff spot come the end of the year. And yeah, the Samurai and the Giants as well.
Have you got your ties looked out, Bez? Have you posted them already?
I have not posted the metaphorical ties yet, but 15-15 tie between the Titans and the Giants. It does show like how close that is. It shows how good the Titans can be, even down their starting quarterback. So yeah, I'm not really that concerned about. I know I've said I'm not concerned about many things, but I think as we get towards the standings and the end of the year, I think we'll. I don't. As much we haven't got to the Sunday results yet, but as much as it hurts me to say, I think it will be familiar faces that make the playoffs.
All right, you probably caught my face there in a moment of absolute glory, Bez. I just gazed to absolute thin air, thinking, "How did you get to 15 points?
How did I get to 15 points?
No, how did they get to 15 points each?" My brain just went, What in a circumstance would happen to be 15-15? And I just looked to the camera, dead plan. I was like, no one's going to see me actually do that apart from you, Bez. I apologise for that, Bez. You probably caught me gazing into the distance. I
So,
was fully tuned into my
you
own
were-
brain and an analogy of that game,
They
thinking,
were,
what happened there?
a lot of fun happened there. Good,
I mean, definitely did. 15-15. It's not
15-15.
often you get a 15-15
Unusual-
scoreline. It's a very unusual
but,
scoreline.
yeah, I want to know who had to go for two to
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
win it. Who had to tie and like, yeah,
it'd have to be.
you go for two to win it, or make sure that you can't lose, and then
15 points
they-
though, Bez. You'd
and
have
then
to
they come
go.
back. Well, you would go 7 and then 8.
Yeah. So if someone's went for a 2 at some
Someone's
point.
gone for 2 and got it, or there's been a safety at some point, and then
Well, that's
the
where
other
my
team
brain
have
went. It's
felt
like,
they've
was
had
there a
to.
safety? Was it a 2? Just the 15-15 is always that scoreline that I'm always like, there's a 2 in there somewhere. What I want it to be is I want
Glorious
it to be 2 safeties, and it was a safety to make it 15-15. That was the end
That
of the
would
game,
be
like right at the buzzer.
Game-ending
15-15.
safety.
Yeah, that's how I wanted to build up the analogy in my head. That's why I went blank, Bez, looking at you. It's like,
Well,
what would the scenario be for this tree? Maybe I could say this out loud, tree. No, I better not. Oh, then I look back, I was like, God, Bez is talking to me.
I'm sure that someone will let us know what the scoring cycle was. On Sunday, we
I like
looked
these
at
results.
the East Kilbride Pirates. They were hosting, and not only were they hosting flag football, they were hosting their world-renowned, or if it's not world-renowned, it should be bake sale. Lots of tasty treats on offer to go with some fascinating football. The Pirates Black are ruthless. Like,
Absolute rolling.
yeah, we'll just get them out of the way early. 3-0 over 2 rookie teams and their own second team. 56-0, 63-6, and 68-0. Just scoring for fun, scoring in bunches. The surprise package, I think we can probably all say.
I think we're both going to agree with the same
I think
thing
we can
here.
say
Yeah,
surprise package. The Aberdeen Snowcats,
Meow.
having not only squeezed past Leeds by a point, have consolidated that with a second win over the Huskies. So that's their season sweep of the Huskies. They're done with the Huskies now, for the rest of the season. So that's the head-to-head tiebreak sorted. Shouldn't need to come to that.
Cats eating dogs.
And a win over the Pirates.
You just got
Pirates
one.
Red puts the Snowcats at 4-1.
Amazing. Who
now-
would have thought? Who would have thought?
Like, obviously part of that's scheduling, but like we said before, you can only play the teams that are.
What's in
that
front of
are-
you? If
that
it
are in
says
front of you.
4-1, Bez.
It says 4-1. It says second in the division, and I'm not sure anyone would have had that pre-season through 2 weeks. But
No.
yeah, I haven't spoken to kind of any of the team recently. I haven't been through, but from what I hear,
It's quality.
vibes are good. They're enjoying it. They're enjoying their first season. Obviously, when the results come, that's also great. It's very easy to enjoy the games when you're winning. But yeah, as long as they keep developing and learning, and the defense seems to be improving, then they'll be fine as we go.
It certainly helps when it comes to top 4 end of the season. You're now 4-1. You're 3 games over 500. That's amazing. Like that's giving you such a cushion now that throughout the end of the year, if you just keep chipping away at the Titans, chipping away at like another Samurai, chipping away at just something as you go along, you want to repeat your Reds win. The Snowcats have got a lot to be excited about, and hats off to them. When I saw the Snowcats results come in, I'm fully invested to the Snowcats this season. So good on them.
It feels very similar to when we kind of went all out on the all in on the Phillies on their
on their journey to the playoffs,
on their first days, on their first season. So good luck to them, and we'll just see how the rest of the season goes. Obviously, it's what will it be? 14 games for them. 3-5, 4-1. So can't complain. 3 wins for 500 in your first season over the rest of the year. We'll take that. Absolutely.
If you took a screenshot now and sent that to 6 months ago, Snowcats, you'd have went.
Oh, I mean,
6
months
with
ago.
The Titans, the Giants, the Samurai, the Black, and you're sitting second.
6 months ago, I couldn't have told you with any certainty that there would have been a team in Aberdeen in the league. So, yeah, congratulations to them, and also a big congratulations to the Cheshire Huskies. They played at Flagapalooza. They played at Who Runs the World in Dublin last year. However, in the WFFL, they on Sunday they beat the Pirates Red, and that was their first win in team history.
Husky watch over in week 2.
Husky watch dealt with. So congratulations to them. That's great. Like, that's what we want to see. We want to see teams picking up wins. So congratulations to them on their first win, and yeah, I'm sure they'll have a decent crack at the other teams for the rest of the season. It's almost like, obviously being Aberdeen bias, it's like not a shame, but it's a shame those two teams didn't see each other again later in the season, if that makes sense. Just because I think they're both going to improve a lot more over the season. Maybe would have liked to have seen that battle a bit later on, but yeah, they've obviously still got another go at the Red later in the year, and they'll also have, I guess, the Titans, the Bees to come up against.
I think the Red will want a bit of revenge as well and get their first win of the year too.
Yeah, for sure.
So they'll be wanting to pick up, and I think the Red team will develop as they go through as well. I mean, you're surrounded by some of the best talent in women's flag football. You're only going to get better as the year goes on if you're training with them regularly and competing on the same game day and stuff. And yeah, you're going to be surrounded by some really good talent and coaching ability and experience. So I see the Red team in East Kilbride as well as they go on. Yeah, really developing, hopefully, as the year goes on, as they listen and watch and experience the league.
Just looking ahead to next time.
Oh, we got any spice?
We've got the Red and the Bees. We've got the Huskies and the Bees. The Snowcats and the Bees. All together. The Leeds Samurai and the Snowcats go back at it. Leeds will be out to avenge their 1 point loss
they'll be looking for that.
1. We got the Manchester Titans and the Leeds Samurai both playing the Black.
Oh, nice. Those will be good games.
Which is fun.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the Giants get the... Who do the Giants get? The Giants will get the Red and the Snowcats. And also the Black. Lots of good stuff to come.
It's amazing.
Almost about halfway, on Saturday night, of week 3, we'll be halfway through the season. So I think the standings and the playoff positioning will start to take place, and that means that it is probably time for us to debut the brand new feature we have. It is as we said last time, we have negotiated access to the official spreadsheet, the master spreadsheet, which means we can share with you the official standings from BAFA direct. No longer do you have to have that little caveat of don't do anything yet because we said it might not be true. For the first time ever, when we say it, it actually is true. So here we go. We're making a whole thing of it. We're very excited. It's time for our standings countdown. The official chart show. In the HNC, the Pirates Black are our only undefeated team, topping the table at 6-0. Chasing pack behind them are led by the Snowcats and the Samurai, each tied 4-1, but the Snowcats have the edge there on the head-to-head, while the Giants round out our playoff teams at 3-2-1. The Manchester Titans are just on the outside looking in at 2-2-1 after that tie with the Giants, while the Titans Bees are behind them at 1-4. The Huskies got their first win in club history at 1-5, while the Pirates Red are at the bottom of the table, still seeking their first win at 0-6. In the MSC, it's the Panthers and the Cougars that lead the way, both undefeated, with the Flame and the Amazons rounding out our playoff teams for now. The Leicester Huntsmen are 4-4, with the Iceni Spears winning all their games at their home day to reach 2-4. The Gold won the Battle of Nottingham at 1-5. The Green still seeking their first win at 0-4, with the newly minted Lions also looking for their first win of the young season at 0-4. That's it. That is our official standings update. Thank you very much. We will see you again very, very soon.
Yeah. I love that. That was exciting, Bess.
That is it. That's it. That's the official chart show, and we will be doing that every single week from now until the end of the season.
Can't wait to with you again in the future, Bess.
Exactly.
No one gets to see it apart from us. We get to do our little stretch. Imagine we're showing off our guns. That
exactly
was exciting. That was exhilarating.
There you go. So yes, so that's it. That is the standings as they are just now. Panthers, Cougars, Flames, Amazons, Pirates, Black, Snowcats, Samurai, Giants are our kind of playoff teams, which would at the moment give us Pirates, Black versus London Amazons. It would give us Snowcats versus London Flame. Samurai would meet the Coventry Cougars, and the Sheffield Giants would meet the Coventry Panthers. Which is a slate of delicious matchups.
I was like, yes, very much so. I do like them as the sort of the playoff picture. That's quite spicy.
Yeah, and I do very much enjoy the fact that we've gone with the kind of North plays South, because they won't have played each other since last season. So
yeah, they don't, and they won't see each other. And I think that's the one big difference with the league this season is you're not playing everybody in the regular season. You will literally only meet them in the finals.
Yeah.
And go to playoffs, which kind of changes up the landscape a little bit. And you know you win down south doesn't mean you're going to win up north, or up north it doesn't mean you're going to win down south. So it really leads to some interesting matchups, Mr. Besleyberry.
It does.
But you know, I wouldn't say, as we always say, it is official, but no one's quite booked their place to playoffs yet.
Not yet.
Don't go booking your hotels just yet. There could still be some curveballs in there.
Yeah, the old. Yes, we are not deep enough into the season for.
Or are we, Bess?
For me to try and break out the.
Are we set on fences? Are we
scenarios?
Getting splinters and butts? Are we okay to wait? We're not making any bold predictions.
Predictions. If I'm being honest, I think that it'll be the Black Samurai Giants and Titans.
I was about to ask.
I would absolutely love it if the Snowcats could make it to the.
Snowcats make it to playoffs.
To playoffs. Concern is if they do, it would likely be as the 3 or 4 seed, which means you just meet the Cougars in the first round.
Ouch! Baptism on fire.
I'm not sure, but hey, like playoff experience is playoff experience. So if you get to play a team like that, then why not?
I suppose, yeah.
I would probably be one of the longer odds that we have ever put out for the gambling degenerates amongst the flag community. You know who you are. You know who you are. The ones that get in touch and say, "I wish we could bet." You know who you are. You know.
Just getting super excited at the over-under. It's like, when are they bringing them back? Is it coming in? Can we do it again?
You know. So yeah.
Well, if you didn't give me a prediction, I was going to go, Bez, do you think the Panthers will remain undefeated as the season goes on?
Panthers, Cougars. I think both of those teams are probably undefeated when they play each other in week 4.
I think their only losses will be to each other.
I just can't.
The thing is, he said the same with who was missing the quarterback. It was
the Titans were missing.
Titans. Yeah. That could come to the Panthers. They could just lose a QB to a wedding or a staved finger. It just takes that one game day, and then that literally doesn't. I don't think it flips seriously. I think the Panthers and Cougars are pretty solidified. Even if they had one bad game day, I think they're okay. I think the ones that would be impacted by a bad game day would be Huntsman, Flame. I think that's probably the ones from the south. Up north, Samurai, Giants, Titans are all kind of vying, I'd say, for that fourth, but might get over the Snowcats to make it above them in the end. Interesting. A lot to play for.
Oh.
Who knows, eh?
So much football. So much football left in this league. And I'm so excited to go through it all as we progress. But I think for now, that is all we have time for. That is our show. We've kept you for an hour and a half. So as always, thank you very much to all of you for listening and getting in touch. We'd love to hear what you think of of both the WFFL. We'd love to hear what you think of the IFAF flag football rankings. So please do respond to any of the stuff that's going on in our stories, comment on the blogs, all that kind of stuff. We'd love to hear what you think about. And yeah, as we get towards the next round of WFFL action, we will definitely be back to preview it along with any other goings on in the flag football world. So without further ado, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It is goodbye from Tree.
Goodbye.
And it is goodbye from me. That is the way we HNC it.